You're listening to Goons, Games, and Gear, the sexiest gaming podcast in the world.
We're here. It's Goons, Games, and Gear. It's Xbox time. Emergency
it's that
episode.
Time of year.
Yeah,
Bars.
Dude,
yeah.
we editor cut in like a picture of us, but like in like rap clothes. And,
yeah, run DMC, like our heads on there, or like us in the background.
GGG for life, and it's just like
yeah.
us publicly littering. Anyway, so this is like insane what's going on. There's like an explosion of Xbox leaks and news, but the gist of it is that there's the leaks. Well, there's rumors that basically turn to leaks based on Phil's response to all this, that Xbox is going third party, basically, that they are going to put their games on PlayStation. At first, it was like, oh, it's just going to be like Sea of Thieves. It's just going to be Hi-Fi Rush. But then like now all games are on the table because he said, hey, we're gonna have a business update next week. Or actually right here, we're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. Now, the thing with that tweet is that it was completely defensive. If they said if he just straight out said we have no plans of putting games on other consoles, then
then it's like, okay, fine, it's all just rumors.
But he didn't. He literally just avoided it. It's like, oh, we're having an update next week. All right, let me ask you this, Derek. Do you think this is a kick in the balls to Xbox owners?
I feel like we have this discussion like regularly about getting rid of our Xbox, right? Like, because like we have gaming PCs, so like, why do we need an Xbox when everything's on Game Pass? But like this, why would you ever buy an Xbox if PlayStation had Game Pass or the Switch has Game Pass?
See, yeah, I mean
like power-wise, yes, it's still the most powerful console, but like content-wise, if nothing would bring me to buy an Xbox, right? At that point,
I don't know, man. It's weird because again, we remember those leaks, and literally a leak about how the next console or the refresh is going to be all digital for the next Xbox, like. Basically confirming. Right. So like I think this is the final like push of them saying we are now Game Pass. We're not Xbox.
Right. It really is. Yeah. Because there was we talked about all of it. We've pretty much been following it every step of the way. It was like the digital only system. What was it a couple weeks ago? It was like the layoffs for like physical media.
Yeah.
Right. They're stopping physical production of games.
Yeah. At least in-house. Like they might outsource some of it, but games. Right. They might outsource some, but like the fact they're laying off their physical, like,
it's just like everything is pointing to this. Like we are Game Pass only, and I don't see a reason why they shouldn't put it on other systems, right? Like, I don't know. It's definitely a smart move. Like if Xbox, like I'm still gonna buy Game Pass if it's on my PlayStation, if it's on my Switch. Nobody's playing it on the Switch though, right? Like we can all agree.
My big brain is that they're gonna put Game Pass Cloud on Switch if it came out. Right. Because a lot of Game Pass
that was the thing a while ago too, right? Was like the cloud streaming that they were like investing in. So maybe it's all come full circle.
I think I believe, I could be wrong, but every first party Xbox game on Game Pass, like Sea of Thieves and stuff, can be streamed with Xbox Cloud. I think it's like mandatory at this point.
Right.
Now, like indie games like that don't have to be like on the X Cloud, but they prioritize games that they make to put on X Cloud. Now, this is from a insider or YouTuber who has insider knowledge, apparently. He says Xbox has no plans to quit hardware. By the way, this is from Rhino the Bouncer. I checked out his Twitter. He just like has good information from insiders. Xbox console users went up, not down last quarter, according to Phil Spencer at the investors call. Xbox games are probably going to be multi-platform titles. Jez Corbin comments, quote, that name sounds familiar, quote, response IMO in part this Steam Deck having both PlayStation and Xbox exclusive, and Steam Deck 2 being more powerful. And the last one is Brave New Gaming World is coming. Anyone who uses Brave, it's always condescending. When Apple said we're brave for removing the aux port, how brave of you, man. Yeah. That was great.
Way to go.
People surviving cancer, not brave getting chemo. Removing an aux port, that's where...
No more headphones for you?
Wired? Oh, you didn't want to.
They're gonna get the little yellow wristband soon that say like Apple on them. Brave.
I was
Apple
brave.
Strong.
Apple, yeah, really though. This is, I really think this is crazy. I think this is almost like a white flag in terms of the console wars. I like, even if consoles were up,
yeah.
like, what world would I buy the next Xbox?
Right.
Well, see, I kind of though disagree that what you said before about if that Game Pass coming to PlayStation. Because if they did PlayStation on, well, if they did Game Pass on PlayStation, I there's literally no reason to get Xbox. Like there actually is like, and don't get me wrong, I genuinely believe the Series X has a better UI. I just like how it runs, like compared to PlayStation's UI and stuff like that. But obviously, PlayStation is infinitely better, like first single player experiences. You know, like that's not even like a question,
right?
You know, but it's like, dude, like, do you think anyone's gonna buy a new console if Game Pass was on PlayStation? That's the only reason why I'm thinking they won't do it. But you know, it's like they won't do it because it would decimate their console sales, like just decimate.
Right.
Now I did read something somewhere else that like there's also talks of never putting Call of Duty on Game Pass as like an incentive to get Xbox somehow. I didn't really understand that, but unless they're going to go first party, which would I think they promised or legally said they can't.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right. They promised PlayStation like, oh, it'll be on there for X amount of years, whatever. Right. I mean, so like it makes kind of sense, right? I could see the other side though, right? So if they do this like all digital system, right? Like how expensive could it really be to like throw together that little box so you could just like stream Game Pass on there? Because like Xbox Series X's, they're selling at like a crazy loss, right? Same with PlayStation 5s. Like they're both being sold at a loss. Right. So like the amount of money, like, yeah, they're not selling consoles if they put it on these other systems, but like, is it really a bad thing necessarily to like cut these like losses they're taking on these systems and then just sell like a little box that just will stream? They're going all digital anyway, so just sell a little box that has like a 4 terabyte hard drive in it and has like a crazy processor and whatever, and then just let me play Game Pass through that. Because that's realistically, I don't need an Xbox with the disc drive. I would have probably got the digital only Series S if it was more powerful. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like I can see them leaving the systems behind, like having something still just to like stream Game Pass, but like I don't know, the rest, like, do they really need it? Do you need the backwards compatibility of discs for the, I don't know, X amount of people that use it anymore? It's all digital mostly too, so.
Didn't they like a year ago leak or like stealth announce some like Game Pass streaming box? But I thought they did some kind of Xbox streaming stick or something.
That was, I think that was the leak, wasn't it?
Was that
that it was going to be like a streaming stick or something? I
Yeah,
don't
like an
know. I don't remember.
Right.
I know there was a digital only something they were doing, but
yeah. So like, if it's true that this is in response to like Steam Deck 2 and stuff like that, then it's, again, I just think that they're gonna, I'm not saying call it, but I don't know how they can market a new system and say there's no exclusives on it. How do you do that?
Right. And even they don't have exclusives coming out still. That's like the biggest problem. It's like they have like a lot of these like smaller studios they bought like make games.
Right.
But like where's Gears? Like Forza came out. I heard nothing about the new Forza game. Halo's like pretty strong with Infinite right now, but like, you know, maybe like a spin-off of that would be nice.
Well, apparently they're already working on next
like
Halo.
Lost. Yeah, Fable is like lost in limbo for some reason.
Right.
I don't know. It's very confusing, and they're not releasing anything with all these studios they buy. So I don't know. Yeah, even like a new Xbox, right? Like, why would I ever buy an Xbox when I have Game Pass? And can play it on my computer.
Yeah, see, that's the real part, right? Because I mean, I'm not sure how many people have a game PC like us and a Series X. However, it is nice because like by having it on console and a capture card, you don't have to run the risk of like, you know, low frames or anything in the recording, you know, like because they're running the game itself. So there's always like that benefit, but obviously content creation is a much smaller market than the general player base. It is pointed out though that most likely if they're going to go if they're going to put their games on PlayStation and whatnot, that the odds are it would be at a later date. So it's like new Halo game comes out, maybe it's a 1 year exclusive on Xbox, and then they put it on PlayStation. Like, you know, that's like the only way they could still have the console, you know?
That makes sense to me. I mean, that's the way I could see it working is, they have it exclusive for a year and then put it wherever.
Right. But if it's on Game Pass, then when it comes to, they want to like, right. It's like,
unless you make another tier of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, unless they make like Game Pass for like for PlayStation, I don't know, different, have like a subdivision. I don't know. My heart because I'm so connected to this. My heart tells me that like they're not going to put Game Pass on PlayStation, but they're gonna just put their games on PlayStation about like 6 to a year after launch. That like because like if they have Game Pass on PlayStation, then I don't think they could be like, oh, here like Halo Infinite comes out, but Game Pass on PlayStation doesn't get it day one, they get it a year later. I don't think they could do that. I don't think they could do it legally, you know, like unless it was a completely different like category or like, you know, some genre. But and also maybe PlayStation wouldn't allow it. Why would they allow direct competition? Well, wait, is Ubisoft Plus on? Do they even count
PlayStation? Yeah,
I don't even know if they consider this competition. Let's be real, you know, like is EA Play? Anyone saying, "Wow, why would I get PlayStation? You know, premium if I have EA, you know, Plus, you know."
Right. I think EA whatever it is, EA Plus, Ubisoft Plus, I think they're all on PlayStation. They just I don't think they care.
Right. No. What do you mean you don't care about our games, dude? We don't. It's just stop. Yeah, it's like like again, we had these discussions. I'm like seriously, and this was before this happened, seriously debating like should I just sell my Xbox? Because like if my PC's pretty damn powerful at this point where I can, you know, stream games that because the Game Pass, they're on my PC. So, and I can even save some money because you don't have to pay for Ultimate. You just get PC Game Pass. Granted, not all the games are on there, but the essentials are the ones that like from Xbox. So like, but if you had to guess, what do you think they're going to announce like as their business strategy?
I don't know. Like, all of these rumors like make it seem like that's what they're going for. I don't know. It's just so weird, right? To think like Xbox is going to be like, all right, Halo is going to be on the Switch and PlayStation and the Roku or whatever, you know. It's like it's hard to believe it, but like I don't know, all this evidence is just kind of like backing it up, and all these things that have been like happening over the last like year or two that we've talked about, like they're starting to make sense if this is really the case now. Like I could see it all kind of going that way.
Right.
I mean, it's Xbox, like I said before, Xbox hasn't been releasing games really. It's very like one a year with them for an exclusive.
Granted, the last Direct kind of gave us, I think there's 4 games this year. It's like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is the dumbest name I've ever heard. Hellblade, right? Sejuani's Hellblade.
Senua's coming out this year.
Yeah. And I forget the other ones, but let's see here. It says here, it's reported by The Verge, a source with knowledge that Microsoft plans to claim that the company is, quote, weighing up which titles will remain exclusive and others that will appear on the Switch or PS5 in the future. Indiana Jones is also seemingly part of this new plan. It could be one of the first to kick off this new strategy. Yeah, so like I don't know if they would go all or nothing. I think maybe it'd be like they want games like Sea of Thieves and Halo on other consoles because that way they can make more money from like microtransactions through battle passes versus single player games like Indiana Jones and Starfield. There's no extra income from it, so it'd make more sense to just hold on to it as a console exclusive.
Yeah, I'm reading this other tweet by this Ryan McAfee guy.
I think it's the same one. It says follow and watch Goons, Games, and Gear, right? That one?
Yeah, he tweeted that, and then he was like, Xbox said also to follow them. So Phil actually tweeted it out about us. But he's saying like, people left the last generation of Microsoft because they couldn't get exclusives. Now their strategy is to get rid of those exclusives to put them on other systems, including Indiana Jones and possibly Starfield. Which I always thought like Starfield was going to come to PlayStation at some point, and it would just be a win-win for Microsoft, right? Because like you had it exclusive for like a year now, but like you would then just get all the money from the PlayStation people too. So maybe that's what their goal is with Game Pass going to other systems as well, is like, these are our games and you have to subscribe to Game Pass to play them.
Oh, so you're saying that you don't think they're going to do it individually on PlayStation, but just have it on Game Pass on PlayStation to make them get Game Pass?
Right. I think there'll be like a Game Pass app on if they do it for PlayStation, let's say, and you go in there and you're like, subscription for games with Game Pass Ultimate or whatever gets you it on there. So then they're like kind of making a market for them. But then at that point, like, I don't see how PlayStation would ever allow that to go on there.
Right. Yeah. That's. Yeah.
I don't. It's so hard. I don't know.
Right. Because I don't. Although I think technically PlayStation would get a cut.
Unless there's some crazy back end deal where PlayStation's literally making like a bank off of it, and they're like, sure, why not?
Right. Like PlayStation might not even allow Game Pass. So, but just giving the games on PlayStation. Which, by the way, I don't think at all we'll get physical versions of like Halo Infinite on PlayStation. I think it's all digital.
No.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks, but whatever. It's I mean, like this was almost a sucker punch. Like I never would have guessed this would have happened. Like ever. You know, unless Xbox is doing worse than everyone knows or understands. You know,
that's I don't know. Like the one guy said console sales were up, but again, like we said, console sales are at a loss. So like they might just be losing more. But then there was another statistic we talked about. We didn't talk about it, but it came out right after the video we did last week about the layoffs that Xbox just did. Where like their last quarter was like amazing. So like, I don't know. I don't know what maybe their last quarter was amazing because of the layoffs, but
guys, we made money, really? Yeah, if you account for everyone we fired.
Everybody go home.
Everybody go. You know, it's I mean, and also to solidify the whole Xbox has no games. Like
I know.
You know, like Gears of War on PlayStation. Also, like how long has it been in the works? Because it's not like they can just flip a switch and put it on PlayStation. Like they'd have to code it, like, you know, a port correctly.
Right.
You know, they can't just like put it on there. It's just
I don't know. It's like it's just too crazy to think about that. Like, okay, we're putting Halo on PlayStation. Like, why though? What's the game here? It's almost guaranteed, like, because based on his own tweet, that they're going to be doing something, you know, on game. I think small games like Hi-Fi Rush. I can't think of other Bethesda games. I can understand making like a Game Pass for PlayStation, right? And putting like Indiana Jones and Starfield there, right? Because people would sign up for those. Like people would sign up for that subscription just to play those games. Keeping like Halo and stuff on the system to sell it as an Xbox system, right? Like that makes sense to me. So I could see it that way, maybe like, yeah, put the smaller games and then maybe like these third technically, old school third party, I guess we'll say. I don't know. It's so hard. I don't know. I also hate that he's making us wait a week. He couldn't be like, all right, tomorrow announcement.
Well, I think they gotta have a long and hard discussion with our marketing team. Like, okay, how can you word this so people buy our consoles but still know that there's games on the competing platform?
Right. When did the leaks start?
I think it was like a day ago, if that.
Right.
It's like I don't know what the original tweet or like leak was, but it has to be true considering considering what's happening and all the shenanigans. What if next week or during the update on business, it's just him going Titanfall 3. That's the update. Bye-bye. Just yeah.
Yes. Wow.
It's like,
I mean, it could. Maybe it's something even right. Maybe it's something completely different, and it's just that GTA's coming to Game Pass or something stupid, right?
Well,
I don't know.
The future, our vision for the future of Xbox. It's ominous. It's nothing. It confirms nothing but doubt. Like, why you would have just said we're not? No, we're not even considering putting our games on other platforms. Right. Oh, I thought I liked it somewhere, but apparently there's a civil war in Xbox division about about bringing Xbox games to PlayStation. Because they're like, oh, it's gonna literally kill the brand. It's I don't know, man. But honestly, next week it could be either one of the biggest shifts in gaming we've ever seen, and it also just might be the time when I sell my Xbox. But
I mean, honestly, yeah.
And the other part that kind of sucks is even if I sold my Xbox, I don't know if I'm gonna get a PlayStation because great, the single player games are phenomenal, but I also don't play single player games much anymore because we play everything co-op. So it's
I know it's hard for me to even my PlayStation. I barely turn on. This week will be the first time I turned on my PlayStation since
Helldivers,
Spider-Man. Right? Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know. It's very hard for me to justify a single player game most times anyway. And if it's a single player game, it's like an indie game. Because they're I don't know, they've just been significantly better lately.
Oh yeah. There's been a weird shift in better single player games. Although fun fact, the Switch eShop still has intense shovelware issues. So, yeah, if you weren't aware. But again, the Game Pass is a great value. It's great that I can play games off the Xbox and content create without that stress on my PC. Right. With Baldur's Gate, when I first tried it, it was just terrible because that game is oddly incredibly demanding, and my PC it could do both, but not great at both. Versus if I had it on my Xbox, obviously I wouldn't have that issue. So there's a need for us, but next week, man, I can see their stock going way down because people would be like, hey, I'm trading my Xbox. There's no point. In fact, you know what GameStop should do? Literally, they should have a meeting. Well, they're not going to. But they should have a meeting and be like, guys, if Xbox announces games are coming to PlayStation, let's run a promotion of 30 to 50% extra trade-in credit towards the purchase of a PlayStation if you trade in Xbox or Switch, but obviously it'd be Xbox.
That or PSN currency. Just give me more money towards it. Right. And guess what? Everyone would bring your systems. You'd be stuck with all those Xboxes because nobody's ever buying them now. But
yeah, I mean that's the easy flaw in this plan. But I'm not saying I'm a massive Xbox fanboy, but it is disheartening to hear that ultimately, well, one, I should have said yes to my girlfriend getting me the Spider-Man PlayStation. PS5.
It just always comes to bite you in the butt.
I just I was just short story here. I think for my birthday, my girlfriend was not hinting, but I was trying to figure out what she got me. And then I saw PlayStation, PS5, Spider-Man 2 bundle. I'm like, it's probably that. And I should tell her not to do it because I don't have the time for single player games when I already have this. And it just every week, it's just something kicks me in the balls with that decision.
Right.
I could
have comes back and it's just like, oh, you should have took the PlayStation.
You should have took the PlayStation. You know what? Honestly, with this conversation in mind, if Game Pass does come to PlayStation, literally no point for Xbox. Literally none at all. Trade it in, call it. Xbox is now, which would, I think it's gonna decimate like the overall gaming market. I think PlayStation would not be fearful of charging more for their games because they technically don't have competition.
That's the bad side of it, right?
Right.
With this, like throwing in the towel of console war, it's like there's Nintendo, but Nintendo literally is like in their own bubble where they make all this stupid money, and PlayStation and Xbox are like, why can't we do this? But yeah, then it's like PlayStation owns the market. Well, what's going to stop it? The new Atari 7000 or whatever?
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's like scary to think about.
Right. It's like, sure, Xbox isn't winning the console war, but it is holding Sony back from doing terrible things. You know, and Sony does that for PlayStation. Or, well, Sony does that for Xbox. Like, you know, it's like a balance check.
Right. You can be a fanboy of whoever you want.
But
we're here to like keep each other in check. That's it.
Right. Granted, we all got screwed when everyone agreed on $70 games. You know, that one.
Yeah, that actually hurt. Even Nintendo was like, you could do what? Hold on, what?
Okay, fine. Just Tears of the Kingdom 2 because
we know everybody's gonna buy it anyway. So $10 price hike.
I don't know, man. Again, so basically, here's my outcomes. If PlayStation gets Game Pass, Xbox is officially done. There's no hope.
Yeah.
It's just call it and there's no hope. If PlayStation gets Xbox games a year after launch, then I think Xbox will be in a worse spot in terms of console sales, but they'll probably make it up in, you know, just software sales, right? Or subscription software sales. If it's like day one releases, then Xbox, you're actually being stupid. Because I mean, granted, PlayStation's starting to do it. They're like very slowly porting their games to PC, very slowly, but they're still doing it. You know, we just got Last of Us crap too, and you know, so like, and at some point we'll probably get Spider-Man 2, but it's like what 2.5 years since like their initiative of like, you know,
I think so. Yeah, Last of Us 2 was like what? Yeah, it's like 3 years ago or so for Last of Us 2 now.
When did Last of Us 2?
No, it was PS4. So
2020. So 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, but we only in the last like 2 years have we seen this like renaissance of remasters and porting games to the PC from PlayStation. So you know, I think they're still going to do that. Xbox, I mean, I like what Xbox is doing because they obviously Microsoft owns Windows and just doing, you know, giving everyone, you know, a piece of the action by releasing it on both at the same time. But console wise, like I don't see either being like a good sales outcome for the console itself, but a good like it might ultimately just be a better business decision because then maybe they can cut back on production. Sell less consoles, but still make up in software.
That's my thought is like, well, you know, they're not selling a lot of consoles, but again, it's at a loss anyway. So like, is it really as bad as it's being made out to be? I don't know. It's like, I don't know exact numbers or anything like that. So $10 per system.
$10 per system. By the way, this is technically Xbox related. So there's an insider, or no, what's the insider? These people had a meeting with the developers with Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, and the developer said, and literally he said this: the reason why it's not going to have local split screen is because Sony and Microsoft won't allow it, stating that it will like hurt sales because they don't want local. Because I mean, I think it makes sense. They don't want local co-op anymore. Why do local, which means sense. Which makes one game when you can do online co-op, which is 2.
Right. I can see it. Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow, I never thought about that, but it's just like, that's evil. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, split screen would help. I actually don't like split screen anymore. It's like when we were younger, who cares? But it's so hard to share a screen like that. But when you're playing games like
Mario and stuff is fine.
Right, Mario stuff, like a shared single screen. I don't like how Spelunky does it, where like when it comes to local co-op, but whatever. Either way, I thought it was interesting that like behind the scenes they're just not allowing local co-op. You know, it's just like as a business decision. They said they wanted to. They're like, oh yeah, we definitely wanted to, but we just Sony and Microsoft like won't allow it, or like they'll charge, or like apparently they'll like charge them or something. I don't know. It's just that's stupid.
Insane.
But yeah. I guess my final thoughts here. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm really hoping that it comes out before next Wednesday, so we can have a podcast episode on it.
Yeah.
You know, but if it otherwise, if it's after Wednesday, we could do like an emergency episode on Friday, which I kind of like that name, emergency episode.
Wee woo.
Oh my god. But yeah, as I was saying, final thoughts. It's a scary time for Xbox owners.
It makes no sense to me still. I'm still like just baffled by it, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I can see both sides, right? But at the same time, it's just like Xbox is really throwing in a towel, it feels like, and it hurts almost.
Right.
So
like we don't want you like dude, please don't.
you can keep making your system. It's fine. You don't have to do this.
But like I kind of like what you said. I think what they really should do is, I mean, if they release that like all digital version, they should just, if they could somehow sell it at like $300, sure, it's all digital, but like that would be a steal, especially for Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
well, you know, it's
absolutely.
like, do you want to buy PlayStation at $500 and like you don't get Game Pass, or $300 and Game Pass and it's all digital? You know, it's like 200, 200 save plus, whatever exclusive that Microsoft decides to throw our way. But this is and also this all comes right after the Activision merger,
That too, right? It's such a weird time for Xbox to be. Well, next week makes sense too, I guess, right? This is like the start of the fiscal year for a lot of them.
Oh, right.
Like February, so I don't know. I think it's just weird. I just don't get it.
I think the best case scenario, it really is like, all right, our games are coming to other platforms, but like a year after launch.
Right.
At least then it makes sense. Okay, well now I get my games first priority.
Right.
So, yeah. So what about you? Is there like anything?
I'm excited to see what they're going to announce. I'm very scared of them kind of jumping out of the console war, because it leaves Sony to do whatever they want, really.
Right.
And I feel like if Sony's like the big brother for Nintendo at that point, and if they set bad habits, Nintendo will follow suit.
Right.
And I kind of don't like that. I don't know. It's nice having this console war, and I don't want it to end. Or at least it could be more civil, but just don't end it completely.
So here's the final thought here. Here's the good news. It's not even a thought, but I emailed Phil Spencer to come on the podcast after whenever he decides to show it.
Right. We will be the breaking news next week. All right. He's doing it here live on Goons, Games, and Gear. Make sure to tune in.
The third Discord slot is just Phil Spencer. Hey guys, huge fan. Phil Spencer. Oh my God.
Phil, what are you doing here?
What are you doing? I just want to tell you the awesome future that Xbox has in store. Starting with Halo Infinity, not Halo Infinite.
We saw you were number 12 on the top video game podcast for this year.
And I just want to say, well, I'm saying this is Spencer sponsor us. That's
right. Xbox sponsor us. Bring it back.
Dude, so like, comment, subscribe, become a member today, join our Discord, watch our stuff. That's super helpful. And we'll give you an update next week.
Next week. Yeah, we'll see you next week for it. Right. Be prepared.
Editor, put in the song. Be prepared. For Microsoft.
Put like Phil Spencer's face on Star.
Yeah. All right, have a good one, guys.
Bye.